So, hi everyone, welcome back to the podcast Cool Cats and Bunnies, where the cool cats are the guest and Bunnies is me, the host. So, today we have a special guest who recently released a new album called The Concept. So, give it up for Straight O Tree, also known as
That's me.
Gregor. Hi, Straight O Tree.
Yeah,
It's been a long 2 years, so how you been? What's up?
yeah. It's been like 2 years since you did like this podcast, and surprise, surprise, it's the same guest.
Yep, and it's the
Also,
same
you call
room.
it a podcast, but I think it's more like a talk show. At least I tell people it's a talk show, because a podcast I feel like is a bit different,
I mean, it's a
because
talk,
it's
so
more
it's the
like an
same
interview
thing.
talk show kind of thing.
It's kind of the same thing.
Okay.
So, what have you been up to? Also, the room is still the same, except the Strato tree sign. It wasn't there before.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Okay, see, yeah, I uh I got it made for like $20 or something. I love it. Well, how have I been? Well, making a lot of music, obviously. I mean, the album it's been taking 2 years to be made. Um, and besides that, I'm actually moving out soon, so I got my own little house.
Oh, that's nice. Good luck on that.
Thank you. So
And
that's why I'm happy to have released the album uh, at the time that I did, because right after that I started like moving out. So if I still had to work on the album right now, then I would probably be too busy to actually make the music.
yeah, that's fair enough. Like moving and everything is pretty. Yeah. So, well, what took you so long to make the album? Like the last time we talked was 2 years ago, and I remember you telling back then that it was released in January last year, but it released January this year.
Yeah. So when I made my first single, Awoken, I didn't really think of an album yet. But when I dropped the second song, Here I Come, then I was like, well, okay, well, next up is to make an album, I guess, because I made these songs and whatever. So then I started planning for an album. I started writing a lot of stuff, um and there've just been long periods where I didn't feel the right motivation, or like stuff didn't feel right, or because it's been pretty long that I've had the track list of the album. Like I've had an idea for the track list, but like some songs didn't feel right, so I'd been making songs, and the song didn't fit on the album, so I changed it for another song, and that didn't fit either, so I had the idea of how the album was gonna look like 1.5 years ago, but um, it never felt right until I made until I started thinking a couple months ago about what the first and last song would be like, which is now Welcome to the Concept, and the fight song being the last song. Um, and that gave me the motivation to finish it, because I'd been working here and there, and I'd been recording like one or two songs. And the recording the songs has always been the most difficult part for me, because it's not that it's not fun, but I guess it's the least fun, because I just love making beats in my spare time or writing the lyrics. But like actually recording, it just takes a lot of effort, and I don't know. I get frustrated easily when I don't sound the way that I want to sound, because I when I make a song, I've already cemented a very specific sound for it, and it's difficult to change the sound. So when I start recording and I don't the sound doesn't exactly match up with how I want it to sound, then I don't know, it's difficult to find the motivation, and it just frustrates me, which makes the recording was the longest process. But like a couple months ago, when I came up for the idea for Welcome to the Concept and Fight Song, that's when it felt right for the first time. So that's when I got like the motivation to record everything. Like almost every day, I was just recording stuff and mixing stuff, and like publishing a new demo to listen to in the car and whatever. And then I don't know, I got into the groove.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like the first track and the last track. So when did you?
I had very different. Sorry, I had very different ideas for what the first and last track was going to be like. Because I initially for the first track, I just wanted to do something that was very lyrical, just like it's very like I just wanted to show off and just have like these crazy rhymes and whatever. But I didn't even know what kind of beat would go with that. So nothing came to mind, and I wrote like this insane rhyming song for the last song as well because I just wanted this, but there wasn't enough feeling behind it. So then I got some inspiration from well, one of my main inspirations, David F from Can't Stop Won't Stop, and um, the way that he makes songs are very I don't know, they're just bangers. And I wanted to open my album with a banger because I wanted people to listen to it and just be eager to hear the rest. And I felt like that was a new way of thinking that I hadn't thought of before when I was deciding on what song should go first.
Yeah, the fight song is one of my favorites from the album.
It's
So,
my personal favorite, the first song.
hmm, welcome to the concept, right?
Yes.
That's a good one as well. So, how did the concept start? Like, what were you thinking back then after working on the second track?
What are you specifically asking? Like how I thought of the concept of the concept.
Yes, the concept of the concept. Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I have this thing, it's the same thing how I came up with the name Straight 03. It just kind of happened and then it clicked. Because the way I came up with the name Straight 03 is I was just looking through Spotify and I saw this song named 48 Straight and just almost instantly my mind went, I can make that into Straight 03. And then that just immediately sounded like the best name just my rapper name, I guess. And kind of the same thing happened with what I was thinking uh, of a name for the album because I was the same thing with the name Straight 03. I was just listing these names that sounded kind of cool or whatever. But then I thought of the name, um, the concept, and it made the most sense because the songs that are on the concept are so different from one another. They all have different inspirations and different sounds and subgenres maybe and styles that there are songs that maybe shouldn't even really belong on the album together if you're talking like a regular album, but like I wanted these songs all to be together because they're all different parts of my brain, different types of thoughts that I've had, different stories in my life or that I just wanted to tell. So they're all just pieces for me, and they're all very random pieces all put together. And so I
So,
thought that I don't know, it just the concept sounded like a good
so
name
it's like a
because it's
concept in general, right? Are you experimenting with
they're
different genres and everything at the same time in the same album? But
I guess so.
yeah, some
But it
songs
wasn't
are.
even really on purpose. Like it's not like okay, I want to do something with this now or something with that now. I was just messing around making beats, and then it just happens. And when because the songs that are on this album are some of the first songs I've ever written. Like since Awoken is like the first serious song that I'd written, and then obviously Here I Come. But then around the same time, I was writing Disco Devil is. I think I wrote Disco Devil around the same time as Awoken back
That's a
in
good song as well. I
the
like that.
so it's just all in the concept. I basically captured the essence of whatever came to my mind first, which probably makes it why it fits so well in my head because I didn't overthink it. I just chose topics and whatever that came to mind without having to have anxiety or about like are people gonna like it or is it actually gonna make for a good song. I followed my feelings about what I wanted to make music about, and it's all very random and doesn't really have anything to do with one another, but like all put together makes the concept.
So, should we go track by track or?
Sure, if you want, yeah.
So let's try go by tracks then. Hmm. I've already asked how the concept started.
Yeah.
So what do the lines mean by love and back to savage?
In that segment, I basically talk about like the different types of songs you can expect on the album. So uh, from made up stories, made up characters, and I would say like yeah, from love to back to savage because basically okay, let me actually also grab the lyrics because when I have to think of them right now, it kind of escapes me. Um, yeah, the concept is a bundle of stories to make a package. Is basically what I just said as well. Like the way that the album came to be is just random stories together from made up characters like Bullseye. Bullseye is from a made up character that I made up like years and years ago. To stories about having troubles, which is what I talk about in Fight Song. Overcoming them, which is also what I talk about in Fight Song, and stuff that gets you laughing, like in Freddy the Frog, serious, like Disco Devil, unserious, like some of the other songs. Love, like the song Love You Bro. Back to Savage, like what I do in this song or Here I Come. So with the terms that I'm using in this segment of the song is just referencing like the types of songs that you can expect and like the diversity of the songs on the album that are about to come.
Yeah, that makes sense. I really like how you added many different ideas into the album. Another line from the Welcome to the Concept is I gotta say sorry for the things that I said. What are those
Yeah,
things?
it's basically what I follow it up with. I gotta say sorry for the things that I said. I planned a release, but I kept pushing it back. That's basically what I'm talking about. Like, cause as you said yourself, like when you interviewed me last time, I already had plans for the album, and I said I was gonna release that year. And then I said I was gonna release on my birthday the next year, and then I was just gonna plan it for the end of last year. But then it dropped, well, like, to yesterday. So, and I just felt very sorry because the I really felt enthusiastic and hyped about making the album, but for all the reasons, it just took longer and longer, and I just felt very bad about having lost motivation at some times and just taking my time. Like I felt a lot of the times I should have just been working harder or whatever. So that's why I say that I'm sorry for the things that I said, aka planning a release but pushing it back.
Yep. Took you 2 years, right?
Yeah, well, basically, I guess you could technically you could say since I dropped Awoken because Awoken was it started all this. I mean, the thoughts of the to make the album came around when Here I Come came out, but like Awoken was obviously a part of that, part of the process.
Yeah, I've noticed in the other songs as well. You mentioned about delaying the album and songs. It's mentioned in multiple songs. Anyways, coming to the second song, the Awaken remix. So,
Yes.
how did it come along? When did you think that you should maybe remix Awaken?
Okay, because Awoken, I thought always was. I don't know. When I released Awoken, I thought it was the best song fucking ever, of course. But then when I started listening to it more and more, I was like, "Oh, this doesn't sound good at all." Like, I felt like first of all, everything was like basically the entire song was like offbeat. Oh, that was voice crack. Everything was like offbeat, and it was my first time recording a song, so I made many mistakes, and I didn't do enough demos. I didn't listen to it back enough times. So basically, the longer I listened to it, it just felt like it was really low in quality. So then I was talking to this. I was talking about this to a friend, Graham Chalkley, and he suggested that he could mix one of my songs because I told him I was working on the album as well. So then I got the idea to to make a remix of Awoken, because I was like, I want to see the contrast of when I do it and when he does it, because Graham Chalkley is he's been doing music for years, like decades. So then I got the idea like, oh, I'm gonna make him do the mix on the album uh, version of Awoken, so then I can see how well it can actually sound. But then that didn't actually happen, so I just ended up writing a whole new verse for it because I wanted to have the remix be good. But like then I didn't actually get him to do the mix for the track. So then I just did it myself, but like with all the new experience that I had made, because so this time around I just wanted to do it well. So the remix was actually supposed to be done by Graham Chalkley, but then I ended up doing it anyway, as for every song on the album. Um, but like I just wanted to have the song and I wanted to make it more epic. And also I just thought it was short, so I felt like I needed to add a verse to it,
Yeah, the third
which
verse,
would like
right?
reflect. Yeah.
The remix does sound pretty good compared to the original.
It's mainly just the energy in my voice, because I didn't know how to up my energy for the first recordings. I just thought that sounded good, but now I just listen back and I know what to listen for. So now every time when I record a song, it'll be not enthusiastic enough, and I'll have to. It'll take a couple demos before I get the tone right, which
So
basically also happens on Here I Come. But I felt like on Here I Come, the tone suited the song. So that's why I didn't choose to redo Here I Come.
you did bit of changes into the beat as well for Awaken, right? The remix.
Yeah, it sounds a bit fuller. It sounds a little bit bassier because it just wasn't really balanced well. So now I feel like it's more balanced. Sounds nice to the ear, less top end. Of course, I made it longer. But besides that, I didn't really change a lot. I just kind of upgraded it.
Yeah, that's more like it. I do like the remix more compared to the original. And original felt like a bit raw compared to like the remix.
Sounds like a what?
A bit raw.
Yeah, and yeah, well, yeah, that's what I experienced only after I uploaded it, and I was like, oh god, should I just take it off Spotify? But like, I was like, I shouldn't take the bad Awoken off of Spotify because it's still a part of the journey, and I want people to be able to look back at my first music and be like, wow, he really was garbage, and like. It can also inspire people because the song Awoken is basically about inspiring people to just chase their dreams. Um, So I was like, I shouldn't hide away from the fact that I was garbage when I first made the song. So I was like, yeah, sure, people can listen to it and be like, well, he was garbage and he still uploaded it. So I don't know, it'll hopefully motivate people to also uh, not be scared to upload something if it's not perfect the first time. Because there's also always time to improve it.
That's true. Pretty inspirational. And oh yeah, I remember I was having a talk about it as well, about how the song was when you first uploaded it.
Yeah, I showed you before it was on the album, of course, because I
Yeah.
knew you were like the biggest fan of the song, which I, I didn't really like the fact that you liked that song so much. I really hoped that everyone would just like Here I Come because I was actually more proud of that song, obviously. So then I was just like, I should show him the new version of the song, see if he can, find any improvements.
Yeah, it slaps. So the third song is Here I Come, right?
Yes.
Hmm. What does the date February 25th, 2023 mean to you? The date when you released the Awaken.
What do you mean?
What does that date mean to you?
Wait, the one that I say at the end of Awoken?
Yes.
Well, I just basically say like, well, that's basically all it means to me, I guess. Just February 25th, 2023. It's when I dropped the bomb. I don't know. There's nothing really special about it. I just mentioned that that's when I started, I guess. That's when Strader 3 was born, technically, because that's when I first hit Spotify.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So coming to the third song, Here I Come.
Yes.
So where do you take the inspiration around the chorus? It sounds a bit familiar to me, but I can't quite catch like where it's from. So what was the inspiration behind the song Here I Come, the album version?
Uh, uh, I don't know. I don't think really there's inspiration for how I did the chorus, at least not that I know of. Maybe obviously subconsciously there's a chance that I listened to a song and then I thought I was being original, but actually I was just kind of ripping off a song. But like I didn't listen to a song to come up with the idea. It just happened. So it probably sounds similar to something you've heard, but not that I was intended to do.
That's fair enough. What about the lyrics?
Well, which ones?
There's a lot of lyrics. Also, do you still have the pen that you mentioned in the song?
Well, it's I write that metaphorically because a lot of rappers say like they talk about the pen, and that's just a way of saying that they write. But I don't physically write down my stuff because that would just get very messy. So I write everything down either on my phone or on my PC. So
Hmm.
it's not I don't use a literal pen.
That's fair
It's
enough.
like in rap music when you talk about your pen, it's basically talking about just your lyrics and the way you write lyrics.
That's fair enough. Did you add any post production lyrics for Here I Come as well, or was it exactly the same as single and album?
I just exactly copied it and I just changed the intro, I guess, because now instead of hearing the vinyl crackle, it just immediately goes into the melody. So I just took a couple seconds off the beginning and to make it flow all right after Awoken, I just added like these sound effects to make it sound like you were just spinning a vinyl right into Here I Come. So that's like the sound effect you hear, I guess, at the beginning of Here I Come. Is so that it flows over from Awoken.
Yeah, the
So like
trans.
that's the only thing I added basically, and I took away in the outro, I took away where I said Straight Records because I changed the name of the label to Straight
Straight
Entertainment.
entertainment, yeah.
Yes.
I did like how you did the transitions between the song. It was pretty smooth. Like it didn't feel
Yeah,
like one song. Yeah.
I always like it when albums have transitions between the songs, where you can just tell that it flows nice. So I wanted to do that, and I like it even more when it happens with the last song of the album straight back to the first song of the album,
Yeah,
which
I
is also what
really
I
love
did,
that. I
obviously.
really love that you can just go on a straight loop from the last song to the first song.
Because it makes sense also because in Fight Song I basically talk about the lack of motivation which I faced, which is what I came back from, and which is why it has such a climax. And then after the climax, it's basically like, okay, I'm ready to go again. And then it indeed goes back to the first song where the motivation is high again. So it basically is a loop. It is a good loop.
Yeah, I really love that part. It adds more value to the album as well. In a way, especially the transitions. They were done pretty good.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. So the fourth song. How did that idea came up of like including the call between you and Dutchling?
Well, obviously, well, Dutchling and I are best friends in real life. So I don't know. I did know I wanted to do some sort of skits for my album because I like it when artists do like little intermissions or skits for their albums because it breaks it up nicely. Because if this was just 9 songs back to back, it would maybe get a bit confusing. But now when you think back of the album, you think of the first 3 songs, and then a skit, and then the 3 songs in between, then another skit, and then like 3 more songs. So now so because of the skits, they're placed like every 3 songs basically, and that's to break up the album into parts, so it's easily digestible for your brain, I guess.
So it's like
You can
three
just have a
parts,
little
right?
breaks in between. Yeah, well, it's of course the 2 skits
Two
with
skits, yeah.
Dutch, and then the outro
Outro,
of Disco Devil, which is
yep.
also separated.
So if you listen back, you'll have 3 songs again. Fight song, Awoken, Here I Come, then the skit. So that's slightly synced up, I guess.
Well, I guess that well, I mean, I- it's not perfectly 3 songs between everything. Of course, it's Welcome to the Concept, Awoken, Here I Come. Then you get the break with the skit. Then you get I'll Work, Bullseye, and Love You Bro. Then you get the skit following that, and then you get Freddy the Frog, Disco Devil with his outro, and Fight Song, and then it loops back to the first 3 songs.
Yep, still pretty good. So the fourth song, what's the David F story?
Um, David F. He's the one I talked about. He's from Can't Stop Won't Stop, who really inspired me to start writing, and I know the type of rap music he makes, where it's a very good blend between new school and old school, and lyrical at times, and it just sounds like those songs, like a combination of those songs from Can't Stop Won't Stop. They inspired Welcome to the Concept, because I just wanted something that bangs. And so I remember messaging him like years ago on Instagram, because I saw I was obviously a big fan. I knew he wasn't a big artist, so I was like, if I message him, maybe he'll reply back, which he did. And then we had a short little conversation about well, his album, or their album, I guess. And I was just I don't know, we were just chatting about like their music, and then I mentioned that he had the song 48 Straight, which was on their album, and that like I basically liked every song from them, but I mentioned to him like I didn't really like 48 Straight. And thinking back to it, it's ironic because that's the song that ended up being the inspiration for my name, Straight 03. So now I do like the song. Like I just listened to it a couple more times, and I started liking it, and it's actually one of my favorites of the album at this point. But like,
You do
uh,
mention it in the song as well. I've noticed that.
yeah, I say like I messaged David F, and I said the ship was cool. I liked all of it besides the 48 Straight tune, which is well, like, it's
Quite
just
ironic now.
almost literally what I messaged him, I guess. And then he was like, "Oh, that sucks because it's one of the songs I like the most." So I was like, "Oh well, now I feel bad."
Mhm.
So, but like no, it like when I was picking out a name, I was just looking through that album, and I saw the name 48 Straight, and I was like, it's I don't know, it attracted me because it was pretty weird, because I still don't know why the fuck the song is called 48 Straight, and that attracted me, I guess, because then I was like, why does this title attract me, and why does it feel good in a way? I guess I don't know. I don't really have an explanation. It's just I don't know. My feelings struck me when I saw the name, and then when I messed with it to create the name Strato 3, I basically got the same feeling, because I had other names lined up for Strato 3, because I thought it was gonna be called like Mr. Greg, or I don't know. I had like this list
Mr.
of
Greg is a
goofy
bad
things.
name, especially for a
It
rapper.
is a pretty. I wanted to take like inspiration from other rappers, of course. Like instead of Master Ace, it would just be Master Greg or whatever, and stuff like that. But like nothing really clicked until I found the name Strato 3. So the irony in that is what I explain in the song "I'll Work."
Yeah, it's pretty ironic. And
I
what?
do have actually more stories about the song "I'll Work," because that song went through many phases before it came what it to be what it is now. Because when I started writing the song, I'll work. I started writing some lyrics and I made a beat for it, but the beat, um, I don't think I can play it right now, but like the beat was basically the melody of "Here I Come," but it was on a guitar. And this is before I even made "Here I Come," so this is like I barely had. I don't even know if I had awoken out yet, but like I just wrote this beat and it had like the melody of "Here I Come," but on a guitar, and I was like, this song is gonna be called "Work" or "I'll Work" or whatever. And then I wrote the lyrics and then I listened to the beat again and I was like, this beat doesn't make any sense, but I do want to save that melody. So then I made another project where I used the same melody, but then I found that big bassy whatever that I used in Here I Come. So basically the lyrics split from the beat that I originally had. And well, obviously the melody ended up being Here I Come, which I did release well first, obviously. And then a couple months later, I I did end up making a good beat for Work, and I wanted to release that as a third single, but it didn't really come to be because I wanted to have a feature on that song. I found this guy, also from the Netherlands, and we wanted to work on a song together. And he wrote a whole verse, and he recorded a verse, and he sent me the verse, and I was like, okay, that's very dope. Now I have to do my stuff. But before I could even do my stuff, he was like, um, actually, I don't really like my verse. I don't even want to rap in English. So I tried to convince him to still do the song because I thought he would be great on it. Um, but he backed out because he didn't want to rap in English, which is that's okay. I respect it. But then I was left with like an empty gap in the middle of the song, so that's when I basically like quickly wrote the whole second verse of the song because well I had to fill it up, I guess. And then kind of the hopes to release it as a third single kind of died because I was like, well, I don't give a fuck anymore. Like I wanted to have a feature, and now I don't have a feature, so now it's just me again. So I'll fuck it. I'll just wait for the album. So
That's
yeah,
fair
the
enough.
song, the song that was first called "Work," like it's not even been that long until I changed it to "I'll Work" for everything. It was just called "Work," but then when I looked at the set list, it was just all the titles that I chose for the songs were one word. So I was like, I gotta mix it up a bit because it was the first song was first called "The Concept," but then I was like, gotta make it a little more spicy, so I just call it "Welcome to the Concept." And then it was "Work," and I changed it to "I'll Work" for everything. So I did make some changes to make it a bit more pleasing to the eye. But that's, I guess, kind of the story of how "I'll Work" came to be. It went through many phases, and I don't know, if I didn't have that little change of heart, it would have had the melody that "Here I Come" had. But the beat sounded like shit, so I'm glad it ended up being like this.
Was there going to be like a third single anytime between the 2 years?
Well, I wanted to do the song "I'll Work." I was gonna release it as a single up until I knew he wasn't gonna feature on it anymore. So then I was like, okay, I didn't now I just don't know what to do anymore.
When
I
was
just started
this?
making the other songs.
Like, which month of the year? Last year, I suppose, right?
Oh
When you
no,
were
it was
writing
still the
work.
same year that I released "Here I Come." It was only
Oh,
like a couple months after that. So basically, last year, 2024, is just when I did basically nothing, I guess,
the
for
post
this.
production, I guess.
It was just all behind the scene. But like, yeah, so I was working on this in 2023, and then my hopes of releasing it as a third single kind of died when he didn't want to do the verse anymore. So then I was like, okay, scrap that. Maybe I don't have to have a third, because I don't like it when artists first publish everything as singles and then just have like no surprise left for the album anyway. So I was like, maybe I shouldn't even do a third single. And then when I made "Welcome to the Concept," I was like, well, this song fucking slaps so hard and it shows how much I've grown. So I guess I want to do that as a single. But then I kind of had the same thoughts of like, I really want to just keep it as a surprise when people listen to the album, and just because if I upload everything as a single, it's not gonna be a surprise anymore because I already have this many songs. Because at like 2 days ago, I only had like 3 songs on my Spotify, and then boom, there was just an album with like so many more songs.
Wait, you didn't release another song in Dutch, right?
Yeah, I released a Dutch song, and the reason I even made that song is because I signed up for a to perform at a festival, a local festival, and
I
well,
remember
it's
that.
kind of difficult to have a good performance when you only have two songs. So
Yeah,
and so
that's
like I was like, I gotta make something new, and I was gonna make something specifically for that festival, like for the organization and everything, kind of to just suck their dick, just kind of. I wanted to make every because there's a whole different audience there. Like it's not like some underground rap stuff. It's like families and like my my aunt and my mom and my. So I wanted to do something that everyone would like. So I came up with this kind of poppy version of I don't know some nostalgic sounding song about my hometown, which was also where I was performing, and I would be naming stuff like that local people would know, and it would be in Dutch so that everyone would understand it. And my little brother was a big fan of it, so I just wanted to make something for the people, I guess. Basically, every song that I make is for me directly, but this song was really made for just a lot of different types of people to enjoy. Specifically, well, at the at the festival, and then well, people really did like it. Like a lot of people told me, like I really liked that song, and my mom was a big fan of the song, still is. So then everyone pushed me like, okay, well, where can I find it on Spotify? And I'm like, I didn't record it yet. I don't have it on Spotify. I just did it for the show. So then everyone pushed me to like
that's great.
make quickly put it on Spotify. So when I finally did, like, yeah, I don't know, people were very excited when I put it on Spotify. And my mom still asks me to put it on sometimes. It's her favorite song.
I wanted to ask about the performance as well. How did that come along?
Mhm. Um, the reason I even knew about it, I guess, is because one of my other inspirations is a friend from my brother, and he performed 2 years ago, and I went to check him out, and then I just looked at him and I was like, "Oh, that's really dope!" Like I saw him on the stage, and I knew him, and I saw someone that I directly knew, and I saw him on a stage doing music, and I already knew that I liked music. I hadn't started myself back then. And I saw him perform, and I was like, "Oh, goddamn!" And then because the festival's every 2 years. So when I had my well first two singles out, "Awoken" and "Here I Come," I was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna sign up and I'll figure out how I'm gonna do it, I guess." So that was my first and at to this point also last performance. Um, so I signed up for it, and Dutchling together with his metal band also they signed up, and we ended up playing right after one another. We had like um, I don't know, we had like 45 minutes for the both of us. So they would play like the first, I don't know, 20 to 25 minutes, and then I would play after. But when Dutchling and his band played, it took way longer than it was supposed to. So
Uh,
I got to start way later, and there was this annoying prick on stage who
oh,
was working there, and immediately when I got up, he was like, "Oh, you have only 10 minutes left," and I prepared for like a 20-minute set. So
oh,
I started panicking. I even had like a camera set up in the corner of the stage, and I even forgot to turn it on because the fucking guy stressed me out.
yeah. Must be
I
pretty
handed the guy
anxious
my
there.
yeah, like fuck it, dude. I'm here like for my own for my first performance ever. Like I'm up on this stage with like my whole family and friends and whatever watching me and strangers, and like I already noticed it was gonna like the band was taking longer, so I was like, okay, I'll just do my stuff quickly. I had cards in my back pocket with stuff and stories I was going to talk about, and like I just basically had to throw them all away. I was like, guess we'll start with Awoken. So I just shouted to the guy like, scrap the fucking talk, just go straight into the songs.
That
And then
kind of
I,
feels
I
bad.
sadly I had to scrap. So I did the Awoken remix. That's the first time people heard it on the show last year. I did the Awoken remix, and well, people really liked the fast part. That people
Yeah,
were
it's a
amazed
good
that I
part.
liked the
Yeah,
fast part, which
that
made me
good.
kind of happy. Of like, the people that complimented me about the fast part basically sounded like me when I first got into rap and like listening to Eminem. I was like, oh, the fast part is so cool because it's because it's fast. And like people were telling me
Yeah, you
basically
remember
the
rap
same
God
thing I
being one
started
of the
doing.
inspirations in the song.
Yeah, well, yeah. And then I also had Here I Come lined up, and I was like, well, fuck it, I guess I gotta have to skip that one. So I sadly had to skip Here I Come, so I didn't get to perform that. Then I immediately went into
The Dutch
the
song.
hip hop classics mix that I
Oh
had.
yeah.
I made like this mix with 50 Cent, Dr. Dre, Eminem, Criss Cross, DMX. I made like this cool old school hits mix, so that people in the audience could actually like sing along and have something that they know, because people obviously didn't know me, so I wanted to please them as well with just doing good songs that everyone knows. And I did that, and the mix ended with my mom's favorite song, which is "Gangsta's Paradise" by Coolio.
I love that song.
So every time when I performed it at home and I practiced it, I left that song out so she wouldn't know that I would do that song. So I got to surprise her with doing her favorite song on stage, which made her really happy. And like her brother was there and he was also very proud, and that was all really cool. She was really happy. And then after that, like the guy was basically telling me like, "Oh, you gotta get off stage. Like you're done." And then I just looked at the sound guy and he was just looking at me like, "What are we gonna do?" And he was really cool with it. Like he
Oh,
wasn't on the guy's side at all. He was on my side actually. So I
that's
was
good.
like, "Fuck it, play the fucking Dutch song. Let's go, play the last song, I guess." And then I did the Dutch song because I was like, I fucking wrote it for the show. It's like I'm not gonna skip the one song that I actually spent all this time writing for the show. So then I did that song, and people liked it. And when I was on stage, I asked people like, "Oh, you can sing along with the chorus and whatever." I didn't hear people sing along, which made me really sad. But then when I listened back to the videos people made, I could hear them. So that was pretty nice.
Yeah,
It was just
usually
the
crowds
fact
are
that I
pretty
was on
loud.
stage with all the speakers. I couldn't. It felt very lonely on stage because I couldn't hear anyone. I
Yeah,
thought no one was
especially when
singing
you're the
along.
only one singing.
Yeah, no, I heard no one singing along, so I was like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna do the song then." When I heard back the videos, people were singing along. I just couldn't hear it because of the speakers.
That's great though.
So that made me happy, and I
Yeah.
was really upset the fact that I forgot to press record on the camera because I really wanted my first live show to be documented. I really wanted to look it back and whatever.
Did
But
anyone
at the
else
end,
record
I
that?
was really pissed the fact that I didn't get to really finish my set because I had Here I Come and I had the song by Can't Stop Won't Stop I was gonna cover, and even like an extra song I was gonna also cover Hey Ya by Outkast. But like I was just happy I got to do my thing, and it went flawless enough. Like it wasn't actually flawless, but it was good enough. And like people really liked it, and people were amazed that I even got on stage. Because for the longest time I've been like just an anxious guy, not really outgoing, just scared and kind of kept to myself. So a lot of family members who didn't even know I made music, they also came and they were like, they was just so surprised to see me get out of my comfort zone and just step on stage and do my shit. I was just happy. It felt so good to see all the people I love in the same place. Because it was my family, it was my best friends, it was my co-workers that came to support me, and that just made me really happy that all these people chose to watch me perform something that poured my heart into. So that made me that made it all worth it, especially.
Oh, that's great to hear. Especially that it went well and everything. Did anyone
Yeah.
else take a recording of it?
Well, yeah, there's definitely some people that took recordings and stuff, but like not of the entire thing. So I couldn't make like an after movie where I just pieced people's videos together because there's no one who there's some parts that weren't recorded at all. So sadly, I definitely have a lot of clips I can look back and it makes me happy, and it's which is also what I posted on my Instagram back then. But
Yeah, I do remember a
sadly,
bit
not
of
the
it.
entire show.
But it's great that you got a great memory out of it.
Yeah, and definitely now that people were asking me like, "Yo, when's the next show?" Then I guess. So I was like, "Well, sure. I really love doing the show, and I really want to do more shows, even though like I haven't done one in like half a year. But the reason I waited is because I really wanted the album finished, so I knew that I had a lot of material to do. Because now, if I do another show, I'll maybe have to be up there for like 20 minutes indeed, and now I actually have like the whole album finished, so I have a lot of songs to do to pick out of. So now that the album is finished, and I'm moving after I've moved, and I've kind of settled down again, I can plan. So I've gathered some contact information from people who can get me some shows.
So when do you potentially plan on doing another show then?
I have no idea yet because it depends when I'm finished with. It depends when I'm finished with moving, and then just how my work schedule is, and it depends if the people that I contact have uh, are available at that time. Like maybe they don't have a hip hop show with which can use me, or maybe they just don't have any hip hop shows at that point. So it'll be very dependent on my availability and then also the availability of the venues that I have contact information of. So and it'll obviously just be in the Netherlands, like local places. So it's not I'm not gonna go on a world tour yet. Because with my 3 monthly listeners, it's gonna be a little difficult to find a
I
stadium
did
which wants
notice you
me.
had some fans in Czech Republic.
Well, yeah, well, it says a lot of places. I know. I see the places I see recurring a lot are the Netherlands, obviously, and Peru. I know I have a fan in Peru and India, and sometimes Britain, sometimes Brazil. There's just some spots that I see pop up, and it always makes me happy when I see like some random country listening to my music. I'm like, because then I just get the feeling like, oh,
That's a
someone's
great
listening to my
feeling.
music, someone that I don't know. So they must
Yeah.
have just found me and just liked my music, whatever.
So do you have any memory of that day when you first listened to rap, like you mentioned in the song?
Um, I basically, well, there's different instances because as I explained in this song, "All Work," I definitely didn't like rap music for all my life. The first times I really came into contact with rap music is because of my older brother, who also got me into Grand Theft Auto, by the way. He because when we used to play The Sims 3 together, he used to put on his playlist and it would be like mostly rap, and I didn't like it, and like some music that he put on I didn't like. So back then I didn't like it, but then I still came in contact with like rap music, and like even at later times when I recalled
It
the
grew on you
songs that he put
slowly, I
on.
guess. It grew on
Yeah,
you.
well, very slowly, because
Yeah.
I guess when I first really heard rap music was like when I was 7. But like for like
A
10
young kid
years,
won't
I didn't
understand
actually
it.
really like it. And I guess the first time I actually liked rap music is when I came across Can't Stop, Won't Stop, which is also why they lay so close to me, because this was back when I didn't really have a music taste at all yet. So I was listening to like on YouTube. I was listening to YouTuber outros and intros and whatever channel was just posting random songs.
How old were you here?
And and then I came across the YouTuber Cop who used a Can't Stop Won't Stop song as his outro, and I really liked the song, and I was like, but wait, this is rap, but I like it. So I started listening to more, and then it was just Can't Stop Won't Stop for a little while, um, and then I, d- I don't exactly know. I guess when Eminem dropped his 2020 album, like Godzilla was a very big track. So I just heard that everywhere. So I was
Oh,
like,
so it
I'm gonna
was
check it out.
recent then, right?
Yeah, it's really not been like only 2 years after I really started accepting rap. Even
What year was it when
I
you listened
made
to
some.
Can't Stop Won't Stop?
Um, Can't stop. Oh God, I don't know. Must be like 2015, 16, 17. I guess 2016 is a pretty safe bet, I guess. And then so yeah, it took just a couple of years until I really I know because what I also explained in the song "I'll Work" is when I was in class, basically around the same time, I guess. I was in class and everyone was listening to music, and I wanted to listen to music too, of course. But the songs that I liked back then weren't really cool. I was listening to Panic at the Disco and just some random songs, but I
I love
didn't really.
Panic as well.
Yeah,
When
well,
did you
me too.
stop
Still,
listening to them?
I never stopped. No, I love them.
When did
I'm
you
still
start
so in
listening
love
to
with
him?
Panic! At
I
the
mean,
Disco.
when did you start listening to Panic at the Disco?
Oh, even before that, like, wait, was I? No, I
I've
don't know.
been
Maybe around the
listening to
same
them
time.
since I think so 2016 or 17. So it's the opposite
I
for
think
me.
I started 2017 or 18 actually. Okay, but wait, I'm still on the story with the. So I was in class and this was like 8 years ago or something. I don't know what I say in the song, and like people were listening to music, and I wanted to sound cool, like because I really wasn't I wasn't cool in class. And the music I listened to, I knew people weren't gonna think it was cool, so I was like, what music do I put on? Oh, uh, I think it's from my side 'cause the stream is also lagging for me. Is it okay now?
Slightly better.
Okay.
You can
Anyway,
close the stream if you
um,
want.
oh, I like looking at the stream. No, okay, so I was in class and I wanted to play music, but I wasn't cool, and people, uh, I knew people weren't gonna think that the music I listened to was cool, so I was like, I just gotta put on some music that people think is cool. So then I was like, what is cool music? Eminem, right? I know that song called Rap God. So then I put on Rap God, and then I was like, oh, that's actually a pretty cool song. And so I never really listened to Eminem before, but I just knew the song Rap God because it was so popular at the time. And so I put that on,
I remember
and
listening
it's
to it
the
as
first
well
time I
back
really,
in 2016 or something. I fell in love with it when I listened to it. I remember hearing about it
yeah,
as well. Then I listened to
yeah,
Eminem
I mean
for
it was
like a
so
good year
big.
or two. You can continue.
Yeah, and I don't know. That made me kind of realize like, okay, well, this is also a rap song, and it's also not too bad. So I guess maybe I do like rap music. So then I still think between after that it still took like months or maybe even years before I really started coming back to rap. And then like 2020 or 2021 is when I started listening more to Eminem. I was like, I heard the song Kill Shot, and then I heard Godzilla, and I was like, oh, these are really good songs. I don't know, I feel good. And then I heard more hits from Eminem, and then I started digging more into Eminem. And then I found more artists like Dr. Dre, of course, I mean, like all the big service level artists, of course. So I know. So like, yeah, 2020 is basically, I think, when I started listening to rap music and took it seriously, because I used to think that rapping wasn't like a skill, or it was just singing but way worse, I guess. But then I started to understand what rapping actually was and what it meant, and like I understood the productions and what it takes to be a lyricist, and it just sounded cool to me after
Yeah,
that.
as a kid, you don't really realize it much, especially for rap music. Some might just think it's cool, but the other side you won't realize until like you're a bit older.
Yeah, so I was like, rapping is like singing, but without the singing, because singing sounds good, and these people are basically just talking. So why would it be? That doesn't make good music. They're not even singing. That's basically what I thought back then. But then obviously my opinion changed, and now here I am.
Yep, yeah, it's your first rap album.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I do gotta, I do gotta, sorry, I do gotta mention that I gotta go soon.
Um, yeah, it ended.
If you guys, if you guys don't, oh, sorry. Um, no, but I said like I gotta go soon. Sadly, I know there's many more questions and many more songs that we haven't discussed,
Yeah, there's
but
still
like
a lot pending.
food is coming.
There's like 6 more songs
Uh,
pending. We can go through them if you want. How much time do you have left?
well, well, basically none. I think.
Oh,
I think I gotta go. I gotta pick up something.
hmm.
Yeah. Sadly, I've run out of time, but
Okay, I'll ask like,
I did really like telling my stories, and maybe some other time we
yeah.
can continue.
So I have two questions. We have
It's
some
going to be a
time.
part one and part two.
Yeah, probably gonna be a
Hmm?
part one and part two then. Um, I wanted to ask about Bullseye, but don't think so. We have time for that.
No, I guess we basically made it like almost halfway. So
Halfway, so yeah.
if you want, we can pick this up. Maybe I'll find time next week or soon or whatever.
Okay, let me know then. So
Yes,
the last
it's
question
sad
would be,
to I'm sad to have to go now, but
do you have a minute?
yeah,
I can do one last
hmm?
question.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
So how do you feel going forward with this, and how does Straight or Tree feel right now, the artist, and how does Gregor feel about it?
I I I don't really put Strader 3 as a different persona besides just me yet, really. But I'm just really happy. I'm just very happy that the album is out, and obviously and like half an hour ago the instrumental version also dropped, I think.
I'll check it
I'm not
out.
sure. Oh yeah. Yeah, the instrumental version just dropped. No, I'm very happy that this is over, which sounds kind of bad, but like um I did have a lot of fun making it. It definitely was a pain in the ass a lot of times, but like I'm just happy it's finished, and like all my thoughts and all the stories that I got to tell in the concept just hit the internet, and I've gotten nice reactions, which made me really happy as well. And most importantly, I really like the songs that I put on, so I'm definitely gonna listen to it a lot more, and just I'm just really happy to be able to have it on Spotify and whatever. And well, it's not like I stopped writing music when I was recording this album. Like actually,
You
like
did
a
release
couple
that
weeks
song.
ago. Hmm?
You did release that song as well, the Dutch one, right?
Yeah, of course. As I didn't stop making other music besides songs for the concept. Like a couple weeks ago, I even basically finished a song with another person as well, and and like this weekend I finished writing another song, and I already have many plans for future albums and EPs and whatever. Because definitely sometime in the future I want to do a concept part two where I kind of go further on stories like Bullseye, like
Yeah, I
a
did notice
backstory and like
that. Like, I wanted to dive more into that. What
yeah.
would be
So
the next album be?
I feel like in like maybe a couple of years or something I'm gonna have another album which kind of mirrors the thing that concept does, where it's probably gonna be like the same amount of songs, and like it gives like backstory or like a continuation on the story, like what's gonna happen now with the Disco Devil, or what is it, or what
Yeah, the
even happened,
outro
you
says
know?
a
What's
lot about that. Maybe we can save that for the next episode then, if it's gonna
I
happen.
guess so. There's a lot of plans, but I don't think I'm gonna release anything new soon. Like it's not like I've got
Any
a
plans
single
for
lined
this
up to be
year?
released in like next week. But like I'm definitely still working, and I'm very excited. Like one of the things I'm happiest about the most now that this has dropped is the fact that I can focus more on future plans, because I had so many ideas. I want to do so many more albums. I want to do so many more songs, and I want to make so many more collaborations. And there's a lot of crazy things coming, a lot of experimental techniques, and just collaborations, and there's a lot coming. But it's
I'll
gonna take a
be.
little while before anything gets released again. I'm just gonna, I don't
So, do
know.
you think
We'll
anything
see.
for this year then?
Well, the year is very young, so basically we have like 11 months left. I feel like I definitely will release another single this year, at least.
I'll be
An
looking
album,
forward
probably
to
not.
it. Yeah, but probably
Um,
takes a long while. This will only take you two
yes,
years, right?
exactly. It could have taken a lot less time, obviously, but like
Yeah, life happens.
maybe I did really need these 2 years to really make it feel right. So we'll see. I'm
I'll be
definitely
looking
not gonna
forward
stop
to
working.
it.
Like I've been I've been very motivated at the last stretch of making this album, and the motivation is not gone now that the album is out. So definitely still in the motivation and still writing and thinking of beats, and so
That's really
the
good.
grind doesn't stop.
Unlike going on, most artists, what they do, they make an album and they go on a break. And 6 months or so, they return back to work. But it's nice that you're already working on the album after the release of your first one.
Yeah, of course, because it's basically the same way that these songs came to be. It's just I had an idea and I just instantly started writing and making beats just for fun, and then thinking of what lyrics could go with it. So
Also,
it's not
did
like I ever
you?
really sit still. It's often also that I'm at work as a video editor and I just think of like a cool bar, so I just quickly write it down on my phone and then I just maybe turn it into a song later or something. I have a lot saved.
Did you write and did you all of it yourself, the production and everything?
Uh, yes. The only thing I did not do myself is write the lyrics for Freddy the Frog, because
And that
Freddy the
was
Frog.
Dutchling, right?
No, 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 no,
Oh,
no. Freddy the Frog came to be when Dutchling and I were just joking around with the Snapchat AI function,
oh,
and I asked it like, "Oh, can you write me a song?" And then it came with Freddy the Frog, and I thought it was
okay.
such a fun little song.
It's a
So
little funny
I
feature.
kept the lyrics, and then I made a beat for it like a couple days after maybe, and Dashling was like, "Well, this beat just goes perfectly with the lyrics for this weird ass Freddy the Frog," and I was like, "I love this song. I want to put it on the album, even though it's so
It
like goofy
really
and
felt like
out
something
of place."
Dutchling
Like,
would make.
yeah, definitely. He did make a picture from it though. Like he drew Freddy the Frog once,
Should have
but
released it as a single, maybe. Maybe you can do it after the album release. Just put the
well,
Freddy the
we'll see.
Frog cover at and release it as a single. Would be fun.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
I do have other plans for Freddy the Frog as well, but like that's the only lyrics that I didn't write. I wrote the scripts for the skits. I had some help with the script for the Disco Devil outro because I really wanted it to sound professional, so I took that through ChatGPT as well to make sure it sounded accurate, like a real news article. But besides that, uh, yeah, no, produced everything, came up with every melody besides the ones in Bullseye, because Bullseye I did use loops for the guitar or whatever. But yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay then.
I'm glad we had this show,
I'm glad
and
as well. Maybe we could
I'll
have a
definitely
Dustling on for the next one so we can continue on the second part. Actually wanted to
maybe.
ask about him as well. So if you both
Mm-hmm.
have any free time next week, maybe we can do that.
I'll try. We'll try.
Alright then. Thanks for
So
your
yeah,
time, Gregor. And
thank you
everyone,
for having me on,
you're
and
welcome.
thanks to the people for watching,
Thanks everyone
and
for
hello to the
tuning in.
Spotify people as well.
Sure.
And yeah, check out the album. It's gonna be fun.
You can link your album if you have the link still.
Of course, of course.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. I'll see you later.
Alright, so everyone go check out Straight Tree and his new album, The Concept. It's out everywhere, I suppose, now. And thanks for having me, Gregor.
Thanks for
Thanks
having
for your
me.
time. And
Mm-hmm.
go check him out. And yeah, hope to see you soon then.
Yes. All right. I gotta go. See you.
Alright, see ya.
Bye bye.
Goodbye. So that's it for today's episode. And go check out Shadow Tree's new album, The Concept. He just linked it in the chat so you can check it out. I'll probably be doing my next episode soon. Might be a bi-monthly thingy. So yeah. And thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll probably do a part 2 since I have like half the questions remaining. So yeah. And thanks for joining in the stream as well, everyone. Really appreciate it.